What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to talk about bookkeeping, how I do my bookkeeping for my own Turo business as a six-figure power host in the city of Louisville and also a full-time college student. I pretty much figured out a way to make it a little bit easier, and I have a couple products that I want to show you guys that you can use for your own business to make bookkeeping a tad bit easier. As we all know, being a business owner, you have to be star employee of the month, and you have to be the accountant at the same time. So we have to make sure we're doing bookkeeping properly. So without further ado, let's get right into a bookkeeping solution for you fellow hosts. If you're a regular on this channel, you can tell I'm in a different scenery. I'm not in my city that I live in. I'm actually in the Dominican Republic right now on vacation. And it also explains if you hear a little bit of yelling in the background, things like that. The pool is literally right outside of my hotel room. So the pool is right out here. Pretty decent view. Over there, you can't really see, but the ocean's right down there. But it's a nice hotel, a nice resort. Had a really good time down here. Today's actually our last day. We leave tomorrow. So I'm ready to get back home and get back to work. Time moves too slow out here. I know I'm supposed to be relaxing, but I can't. It's inevitable. So in this video, I have 3 solutions for bookkeeping for you guys. The first 2 solutions are actually solutions that I use myself when I first got into Turo. They are a little bit more tedious and time consuming. There are manual ways to do bookkeeping using like spreadsheets and things like that. And then the last solution is actually a partnership for this video. He has a bookkeeping company, and he's offering 20% off for anybody that goes to him. So you go to him, say I sent you, he'll give you 20% off of your first month for bookkeeping, and he'll handle all your bookkeeping needs if you can afford it. This is what I do now. Like I said, it's super helpful, super beneficial, and I would not advise somebody to do something that I don't do myself. So check it out. Stay to the end of the video or skip to 1330 to see more about it. So let's get right into the bookkeeping. So this is the spreadsheet I use. It's on Google Sheets. I used this when I first started doing Turo, all up until about a couple months ago. I kind of found a better solution, but it's a pretty solid source. I will say it's tedious, but you got to do what you got to do. When you first get into the business, you got to make sure you're staying on top of your expenses, your income, just to make sure the business is actually profitable for you. If a car is not meeting expectations, you might have to sell that vehicle. Even if you don't take anything I say out of this video, make sure you're just doing some type of bookkeeping for a business in general, because without that, you don't even know anything about your business. So on this first screen, this is the configuration screen. This is basically where you put in all your starting information to proceed to do the bookkeeping for the rest of the time. So first here we have the income category, and on the income category you'll put what your sources of income are. So for me, I put all my different vehicles that I had at the time. I have more vehicles than this, but I put like my 2019 Kia Forte, the extras, if you plan on getting any grants, things like that. You can put all the ways of you making money right here in the income category. And then over here we have the expense category. This is basically where all your expenses will go, just like the income, except you got maintenance, car insurance, car wash, gas, taxes, car payment, all those different type of things. You can look here on the screen and see all the different ones that I have here, trackers, whatever it is. Put that in the expense category. And then over here you got monthly profit target. This is just the target that you would want to hit each month for just profit. Me personally, when I first started doing this, like I said, it was a year ago when I first started. I just put anything here because I didn't really know what to expect in the business. So I just put $1,000 profit per month. Obviously now I profit more than that. And then, yeah, and then you can go to each like month and things like that. And then you can go to each year as well. So yeah, let's get right into the actual income tracker. So I went to the top. So the total net income is basically how much you netted in income. This is before expenses. This is how much money came in before you spent any money out. And as you see, this number here is $31,417. This for me was over the span, I think, of like 7 months. This is when I first got started into Turo. But yeah, that's the net income. And then down below, you see the date, the reference, description, income amount, tax, net income, and additional notes. If it's loud outside, I do apologize. Like I said before, I am on vacation. Can't help that, but we gotta make this video. So yeah, so you got the date. What you will put for the date is the date that the vehicle came back from the trip, because that's when you get paid on Turo, is the day the time the vehicle comes back from that trip. The reference number doesn't matter as much because, I mean, you can put whatever number you want. It's just, if you're gonna go backdate and then try to find a transaction, you can just go in there and find it that way. And then for the description, what I just do for myself, I just put the guest's name. I used to put first and last name, but now I found it easier just to put first name. It's not that serious. What really matters is the amount you make. But so you put that all down there the whole time. And then for income category, you have, like I said before, the source of income. So which vehicle made you what money, or which way did you make that money? So for instance, I got 2020 Nissan Rogue, 2019, extras, grants, blah, 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 and so forth. You would do this all the way down to the end. And then the income amount is self-explanatory. That's where you put how much money that vehicle made or that trip made, you know, and you put it right there. So this trip made $104.25. Put that there. I don't really put tax because Turo, they don't take any taxes out. So that's something you just figure out at the end of the year. And then if you have any additional notes or anything like that, you can put that over here to the side on this last box. For instance, right here, I put extended trip, 1 day, and then a gas reimbursement, things like that. You can put anything like that in that box right there. $150 for a cleaning fee, delivery fees, anything that you want to add to that box. So this is a reminder, so when you go back and look at it, you can update it. And I will say this process here is pretty tedious. It's extremely tedious. But when you first get into the business, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to figure it out. You got to work out the nicks. So this is what I used to do. And then once we go over to expense tracker, we have the total net expenses, which for the year for me was $22,000 basically. Over the span of what was that, like 7 months, it was $22,000. And this does include me purchasing cars and all kind of different stuff. So it's pretty much the same thing. Whenever that expense came out, you put that in the date section. The reference doesn't matter as much, and then you put the description, like what it was. And then for the expense category, you just put what that expense was. And you will have to add all these expenses in the configuration tab. You will have to add this stuff yourself. You edit all these things, you add it yourself. If you want me to show you how to do it and walk you through all this, book a call with me and I'll walk you through everything. But add the different expenses and everything like that. Put the amount. I used to put the tax, but it doesn't really matter as much. For me, I found it doesn't matter as much because you figure all that out at the end of the year. And then also the same here, you can put additional notes and information on the side. So whatever you want to put there. Next, we're going to go to the monthly dashboard. And if I'm going pretty fast, it's because I have 2 more solutions that I want to show you guys after this one. So pay attention. I'm talking fast. I don't want the video to be too long. And if you stay to the end, I have a treat for you guys. I actually have a guy that do your bookkeeping for a pretty good deal. He does my bookkeeping now, and he specializes in Turo. So if you don't want to go through this tedious process of doing this and you can't afford it, I advise getting this bookkeeping. But stay to the end, and I'll give you guys a discount code where you can go to him and he'll take care of you. So next we have the monthly dashboard. So total income $7,200, total expenses was $4,900, total profit was about $2,200. So not bad. Could be better. And then if you go down, it tells you your profit margin, which is super neat. It tells you your expense overview. So it tells you how much money on average you spent on like per expense category. So for instance, if you look at car payment, I spent almost about $1,600 on car payments. And then for my Ford Fusion, I don't know what happened with that car in that month, but it looks like we spent almost $3,000. That might have been when I bought that car. I don't even remember. That was a while ago, but yeah. And then you come over here to total profit target. So as we saw before, my profit target was 1,000, and obviously I exceeded that profit target because I was over 2,000, so that was pretty good. And then income and the expenses, like I said, was 30% profit margin, which usually in business that's pretty decent, but it's not counting like depreciation and things like that. So we get income, things like that. When you go down, it's just a summary of everything that we went over before for that month. So it tells you which cars made how much money and which categories have how much expenses. And then lastly, we have the annual dashboard. This just basically shows you how much for the whole year, how much you profit, loss, and everything like that. So this kind of looks weird right here, but so total income is about 31,000. Total expenses about 22,000. profit. I think it's like 8,400. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but it's not showing up right. It shouldn't look like that for y'all. It'll get fixed. But my profit margin for the year, roughly estimate, it was about 29.89%, which is a rough estimate because that's not accounting depreciation. But if you do want something more accurate, like I said, I have a guy, he'll even count depreciation on these cars for vehicles and things like that if you want to get even more precise. And this is a breakdown of like everything for that year, from January to December, of each car, how much it made and how much you paid and things like that. It's super neat. If you go to the bottom, you can see the total expenses. You can see everything for the whole entire year. So that's pretty neat. So that's for this specific spreadsheet. If you're interested in that one, link will be in the description. Let's move on to the next. So this next spreadsheet, this is something that I started using a little later. As you go along, you will start finding different tools and things like that. So I'm providing you guys a tool so you can use it now. Yeah, so this here is a little more specific. And I'm not super expert on this. I used it for a while, but I didn't use it for a crazy long time because, like I said, I converted it until I forgot it does everything. But on here, you have all your different cars that you have and things like that. I know on this one, I think you only can add up to 10 cars. So that's the downside of it. So I have all my cars on here. Then I have all my operating expenses, just like the last spreadsheet. On this one, I have tolls, maintenance, vehicle supplies, internet, fuel, vacuum, etc. You can see all these. And on this one, they actually already come preset. Like they already come preset, but you can change them and edit them for your needs. And then you got the total operating expenses and total income. But you can go further and go to each individual vehicle. So for the month, you got revenues from Turo. For this specific vehicle, you got the first payment through the 15th payment. So these are basically, if you go on the Turo app, you can see when you made money from that vehicle. So the first payment was $169 for the month. Second payment, same. Third payment was the same. And then you got so on and so forth for the rest of those payments for that specific vehicle. So that total for the month was $1,556 for the month of January. And then we got cost of goods sold. That's basically the same thing as operating expenses. Like what did you have to purchase? What do you have to pay for to make this possible for you to make this money, for you to make that money? And then for me, the categories I have, for every vehicle might be a little bit different. But for this car, I have credit card payment on here because I bought this car with a credit card. So if I put money on a credit card, I put that there. And we have insurance, which is $103 a month. Taxes, which is what I paid at the beginning of the year, whatever, which I don't think that's accurate. We might have to fix it. And then you have warranty. I had a warranty on this car. If you're interested in getting a warranty, let me know. I can give you a company that can warranty your cars. Anything less than 100,000 miles on it, and less than, I think it's like 15 years old, it can get warranty. You can get a warranty. Then car washes, I pay $14 a month for the car wash. Maintenance, that month I obviously didn't do any maintenance. And then my tracker, which is Bounty, $9 a month. So my total expenses for the month was only $251. It was pretty good. For me to make almost like $1,500, and you only got to pay $250. That's pretty good. So I profited that month $1,300. That's crazy. The ROI was 500%. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so that's basically what you do for every car. It's the same concept. Like I said before, you do the same thing, all the different cars. And yeah, that's everything. So for this one, I'm not gonna get off too much into it. Like I said, if you want a deeper explanation, you can book a one-on-one. But next, I'm gonna dive into the solution that I got for you guys for people who don't have time to do all the bookkeeping themselves. So what you also can do, what I have done, I hired a guy. His name is Jonathan. He owns a company called Turo, and he specializes in Turo. He's actually did Turo himself before, so he knows the business. He knows how it works. He knows depreciation on cars. He knows all about the business. So this is something that I found super helpful for me. I don't even think about bookkeeping anymore. All I do is send him my reports, my CSV from the Turo account, and he does everything for me. So it makes it super easy. So what he'll do at the end of every month, he'll send you like a summary of your profit, loss, and everything like that. He uses QuickBooks So you also can go into the QuickBooks website and you can see everything like actually in there. It's super, super easy. You just upload your account and everything like that. He basically is like an accountant, so he can go in there and see everything. But for here, we have my vehicles. You know, here, as you can see, it's super simple, way simpler than the other two. On here, you got which vehicle it is, and it says the income and the expenses. The cost is the expense. So for this vehicle, the income for this might be total. I think this is for the whole entire year of 2024. But the income was $5,700, and the expenses was about $1,400 for the year. Super good. Profit margin 75%, and so forth. This car income's $4,500, cost $1,800, profit margin 59%. Now this car right here, I didn't buy this car until like when I bought it. I think it was like February, but we had some things we had to fix on that car, so that profit margin is pretty low. But yeah, it made $2,000. I paid about $3,000 to get it fixed apparently. And keep in mind, this is also factoring in depreciation. He factors in the depreciation, so it makes it even more accurate for your taxes and things like that. This guy, he even files taxes as well. If you need your taxes filed, he even filed the taxes. And then over here, this is more of like this is the month, like the month breakdown of like each vehicle. And but yeah, you got everything like that. Then on here, it shows like your Turo income for that month. So for instance, April, I made $14,000 that month of April. Pretty good month for me. And it also shows the Turo fees, like how much you paid in Turo fees, the gross profit, the percent of income, things like that. And it shows the difference between the current month and the last month. So you can see if you're declining in profitability or if you're increasing in profitability per month to month. And also he has all the expenses categories in here. He does all this himself. All you got to do is pay him. He takes care of everything. And like I said before, if you want to do this, for your first month, he'll give you 20% off if you tell him that I sent you. They say Camry send me. He'll do a consultation with you, get you onboarded, and you'll be ready to go. The website will be in the link below, but let's get right into more about this, how it works. But he has all the expenses and everything like that. The total fleet expense, interest paid. That's for like your credit cards, things like that. Legal and accounting services, like freight, supplies. Taxis, if you get Ubers and things like that, and then you got inspections and registration, warranties, and then you got the total fleet expense and the interest. I already went over all that, and then you got other income, which is like consulting income or interest earned on like dividends and things like that. And you got depreciation expense. This is what I was talking about. He talks about depreciation. He shows you all that. So my depreciation was about 5% for that month, which I don't think it's pretty bad. You tell him how many miles it gets driven on each car and things like that, and he tells you the depreciation. And then lastly, the net income, how much you profited for that month. So in April, I profited about $7,200, which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all for me having. I think I only had like 6. I think I might have had like 8 cars listed. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That's everything you need to know about bookkeeping for Turo. Every software that I use, every tool that I had in this video will be in the link below. If you want to go to John for bookkeeping, tell him Camry sent you, and he will give you a 20% off for your first month of bookkeeping services. And after that, you ain't got to worry about it no more. So let me know if y'all have any questions. I hope this video was informational for everybody, and see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe.